you know it's on. Lights so bright from dusk till dawn. Free kicks, goals scored, hear the crowd roar. Then hit that subscribe button, cause football at your door. Fast runs down the wing every single game. Highlights, reactions, you'll never walk alone. Welcome to the channel, the football back. Welcome to the channel, ain't no going back. Like, comment, subscribe, join the team today. We're chasing every victory all the way. Kickoff starts now, no time to delay. Let's go! The football back!
The football's back, sports media outlet, with myself, Jason Burton. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Welcome to the football's back with myself, Jason Burton. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Now, I don't know if it's me, but it's bloody hot tonight, man. I'm telling you. Ah, dear. Anyway, now, on today's show, I want to talk about managerial lineups that's complete for 2026/2027 season. Yeah, because I think this is good to stay in the know with something like this. So it says here, manager lineup complete for 2026/2027 season. Now it's got a picture here of all the managers, or most of them. It says Premier League managers 2026/2027. Right. So I'm not going to stick around on the write-ups with some of these managers. I'm just going to kind of let you know that they're still at their respective clubs. So we've got Mikel Arteta, who's still at Arsenal. Now, for me, winning the Premier League helped him to stay at Arsenal, as far as I'm concerned, But I still think the revenue that he pulls in away from winning the Premier League would have still been enough to keep him at the club. So anyway, that's Mikel Arteta, still at Arsenal. Now we've got Unai Emery, manager of Aston Villa. Now, he's actually been doing a good job at Villa, I must say. He has. His managerial statistics are pretty high. Do you know what I mean? At one stage, I thought Manchester United would have actually went in for this manager, to be quite honest. Do you know what I mean? Because I think he's quite a good manager. Do you know? So that's Unai Emery of Aston Villa. So the next manager is Marco Rose of AFC Bournemouth. Now, I think this is a new manager. So it says here, Rose joined Bournemouth ahead of the 2026/2027 season, replacing Andoni Areola. Okay, so yeah, he's a new manager. So that's Bournemouth's manager, okay? Marco Rose. So next we have Keith Andrews of Brentford. Now, I don't know too much about this manager, so I'll just have a quick read. It says Andrews was promoted internally by Brentford to become their head coach in June 2025. Following his retirement from playing in 2015, he held roles as an assistant at MK Dons and with the Republic of Ireland's senior and under-21s teams before joining Brentford as a set-piece coach in the summer of 2024. It says after his promotion to head coach a year later, Andrews helped the Bees qualify their highest ever Premier League finish when they came ninth in 2025-2026, narrowly missing out on qualifying for Europe for the first time in their history. Okay, this guy's not a joke still. He's got a good CV, man. So that's Keith Andrews of Brentford. Now, next you have Fabian Herzler, right, of Brighton. This is Brighton's manager. Now, I don't know too much about him, but it says Herzler was appointed by Brighton in June 2024, becoming the youngest ever head coach to take charge in the Premier League at the age of 31. Okay, so that's Brighton's manager. Now, underneath him, we have the legend that is Xabi Alonso. Yeah, he's been appointed as Chelsea's new manager. Now it says here, Alonso started as Chelsea manager in July 2026. He is best known in the Premier League for his 5 years as a player at Liverpool, where he won the Champions League and lifted the FA Cup. Okay, yes, that's Xabi Alonso. Of Chelsea, man, I can't believe that. That's crazy still, you know. But yeah, underneath Xabi Alonso, next we have Frank Lampard, who manages Coventry City. Yeah, it says, I'll just do a quick read up on this. It says, after being appointed Coventry head coach in November 2024, Lampard guided them to Premier League promotion in his first full season in charge. Okay. All right, so we know now Lampard's at Coventry City. Now, next in line you have Pierre Sage, yeah, who's Crystal Palace's manager. Excuse me. Now it says here, Sage was appointed as Crystal Palace head coach in June 2026. All right, so that's Sage, Crystal Palace's manager. So next you have David Moyes of Everton. Moyes was appointed for his second spell in charge of Everton in January 2025. And as some of us will remember that, like a little bit older, we remember the first time that he was appointed, which it says here in March 2002. You know, so yeah, I know David Moyes quite well because I'm obviously a Liverpool supporter. So next you have Arbeloa. Now Arbeloa is actually Fulham's manager. Yeah, Alvaro Arbeloa. Yeah, Arbeloa. So Alvaro Arbeloa, because I want to say his full name, right? And I remember this player when he played for Liverpool. Yeah, he's now Fulham's manager. Okay, Spanish guy, isn't he? Arbeloa, yeah. Remember him, he's a good player, man. Right, the next guy, Hull's manager, I'll have to spell it for you guys. His first name is Sergeej, and then his last name is Jakirovic, and he's Hull City's manager. Yeah, it says he became Hull City's head coach in summer 2025 and won promotion to the Premier League in his first season after hanging up his boots in 2017 following a 20-year career spanning 5 countries. Wow. He moved into management starting out at, oh right, I haven't got a clue what that name is. So it's a foreign team, so I'm not going to try and pronounce the name. So starting out, and then Gorica in Croatia. So that must have been the next club that he moved to. Okay, so I'm not gonna try and read too much on him because, yeah, it's a bit mad still, the clubs and everything. Because, you know, I'm guessing what's his name? It sounds like German or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, next we have Gary. Oh my God, what am I like? Gary O'Neill, Ipswich Town's manager. O'Neill became Ipswich manager in June 2026 after Kieran McKenna stepped down shortly after, stirring them back into the Premier League after making more than 214 Premier League appearances across spells with Portsmouth, Middlesbrough, West Ham, and Norwich City. O'Neill retired in 2019 and took charge of Liverpool's under-23s. Okay. So that's what's it? Gary O'Neill of Ipswich Town, and who now manages Ipswich Town. So next we have Daniel Firk. Yeah, so this is Leeds United's manager. I'll spell the last name. Daniel Farke. Yeah, I think that's Firk of Yeah, Ferk or something like that. He seems German once again. Seems like a German name. So Ferk became Leeds man, Leeds United manager in July 2023. The German spent his playing career as a forward in the lower division of the homeland. Then, after retired, age 31, became a sporting director at Club SV Lips. Oh no. At Club SV, I'll spell it for you, Lippstadt. Alright, and it says '08. Yeah. So, okay, so what's his name? Let's just remind ourselves Daniel Furk of Leeds United. So he manages Leeds United. Next up, we have Andoni Areola of Liverpool. It says Areola replaced Arne Slot as Liverpool head coach in June 2026 after 3 successful years at Bournemouth. As a player, he made over 500 appearances for Atletico Bilbao, helping them reach the Copa del Copa del Rey final twice, as well as the Europa League final in 2012, before ending his career at New York City FC. Before joining Bournemouth, he had spells at Cypriot side, AEK, Larnaca, and Spain's Morades, yeah, developing a reputation as giant killers. Okay, so they must have been lower league clubs, yeah. In August 2020, Areola took charge of Real Vallecano, so Rayo Vallecano, yeah, and guided them back to La Liga in his first season. He was appointed at Bournemouth in summer 2023, and a hugely successful spell culminated in the club qualifying for Europe for the first time in their history. Okay. Yeah, apologize for my reading there. Kind of butchered that one up, right? But it says next up, Enzo Maresca of Manchester City. So he's just been appointed at Manchester City as new head coach. It says Maresca succeeded Pep Guardiola at Manchester City after a playing career that took him from AC Milan to West Bromwich Albion, Juventus, and Sevilla, among several clubs. He started coaching in charge of Man City's elite development squad, winning the Premier League 2 title. He then had a spell in charge of Parma before returning to Man City in June 2022 as one of Guardiola's assistants. Taking over at Leicester City, he led them back to the top flight before being appointed as Chelsea head coach in the summer of 2024. They won the Conference League and FA Cup, World Cup, and qualified for the Champions League before he stepped away midway through the following season. Okay, so that's Maresca, who's at Manchester City. Now, next we have Michael Carrick, who's at Manchester United. Now, we know that he's been at Manchester United for maybe a season or two. So it says Carrick has been head coach of Manchester United since the 13th of January 2026. Okay, so not even a season or two. Yeah, considered a leading midfielder of his generation. He started at West Ham before joining Spurs, then United. Okay, so I'm not going to add too much more about him because we know about Michael Carrick. So the next person is Eddie Howe of Newcastle. So we know that Eddie Howe has been at Newcastle for some time and he's still there. So the next up you have Oliver Glasner, who's at Nottingham Forest. Okay, so I think he was at Crystal Palace previously, so now he's made a move to Nottingham Forest. So if you wasn't aware of that, that's where he's now headed to. So next we have Regis Leauge, Sunderland's manager. Leauge has been Sunderland head coach since June 2024. Okay. Then you have Roberto De Zerbi, Tottenham's manager. Yeah, De Zerbi took over at Tottenham Hotspurs at the end of the 2025-2026 season. Okay. Yeah, he said he spent most of his playing career in Italy, lower divisions, before winning promotion with Napoli and claiming 2 domestic titles and the Romanian Cup with CFR. Yeah, before hanging up his boots. In management, he honed his reputation across clubs in Italy before his first major success, winning the Ukrainian Super Cup at Shakhtar Donetsk. Yeah. In September 2022, he was appointed Brighton head coach and led the Seagulls to their best ever Premier League finish of 6th in 2022-2023, securing European football for the first time in the club's history. After leading them to 11th the following season, he moved to Marseille. Yeah, was it Marseille? Yeah, leaving after a second place finish in League One. He was brought in by Spurs initially to save them from relegation and guide them to safety on the final day. Okay, so there you have it, guys. That's all your it's managerial like appointments and manager lineup that's complete for 2026-2027 season. Yes, if you're wanting to know about what managers are at what clubs, who's left, who's staying, now you know, yeah? Now don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, we've been The Football's Back. I've been Jason Burton. Out. Peace.
Yeah, you know it's on. Lights so bright from dusk till dawn. Free kicks, goals scored, hear the crowd roar. Then hit that subscribe button, cause football at your door.